Hi, I'm David Rockett, the Charitable Steward, and this should be our second of 4 videos of about 4 minutes each, laying out the beauty of my approach for using life insurance as a tool in your financial planning. But I've decided to try to combine the 2 second and third videos to capture by 2 simple pictures what we can do. We started with the place and the usefulness of term insurance, and you might want to watch that video if you haven't already. Picking up where we left off, your 20-year level term insurance policy is running out. You're age 55 to 60, and your children are mostly grown, maybe even gone from the house. You have some assets and wonder if you've outgrown your need for life insurance. Or you might just reduce your coverage from that $1 million policy in our first video to a short 10-year policy of $250,000 or $100,000. It all depends on your circumstances, what's happened, and where you are in your late 50s, early 60s. But let's look at your assets. Chances are high at this point in your life that you have an investment portfolio of some value. Look at this portfolio as a pie chart. The rule of 100 gives us a starting point for deciding how to divide things up. If you never risk your age to the investment loss, then you just subtract your age from 100, and that tells you what you can risk. If you're 35 years old, then you can safely risk 65% of your portfolio to investment loss or investment growth. This leaves 35%, your age, in safe, no growth capital that you never subject to market risk. It's over here in the capital preservation side. The reason for this is natural. A 35-year-old couple has more time to recover from significant market losses than the reverse. It is also true for a 65-year-old investor. He risks less, or 35%, and preserves 65%. Of course, this is just a guide, and there are obvious exceptions. The 35-year-old welder with 3 young children making $20 an hour might not take the same risk as a 35-year-old single tax attorney from a wealthy family. So there's variation. But consider a 60-year-old whose term insurance has run out. His kids are all grown, and he has $1 million portfolio, as we see right here. $400,000 still over in growth investment, $60,000, $100,000 his age, and no growth assets. What we call capital preservation funds. Our focus here is not on the growth side, but to look closer at the preservation of capital assets. Typically, what we have here on this side of the portfolio are money market funds, CDs, various bonds, perhaps some municipal bond funds, an annuity, real estate, maybe even some precious metals. I've listed a few of them down here for us. Remember, these are not growth investments. Your overwhelming concern here is preservation of capital, or perhaps emergency future spending. Or perhaps they are mostly legacy assets intended for the children or grandchildren, churches, or other favorite charitable causes. I strongly suggest that you consider using single premium life insurance as a very useful tool over here, especially if we're talking about an equity index single premium policy. There are just too many solid benefits to ignore it as a potential tool on this side of the portfolio. The interest rate is above the CD and money market rate, often comparable to corporate bonds. It is tax deferred, so it accumulates tax deferred inside the life insurance contract, so you don't have a 1099 every year like you would on CDs and money market accounts. It is completely accessible to you. In the safe, right, strong insurance company, it is very, very safe and secure. And best of all, it has the supersized leverage of a life insurance contract. Capital preservation assets are funds intended for future spending in old age, or legacy assets to be inherited, passed on to the next generation. Most parents and grandparents have a strong desire to leave a legacy of assets to their children, their grandchildren, and to charitable causes they dearly love. Nothing dramatically supersizes relatively stagnant assets like life insurance. Now I'm going to switch to Aunt Sally and show you her picture. Consider this picture of 60-year-old widow Aunt Sally. Her home is debt-free, and she lives and travels comfortably on her late husband's pension, Social Security, and life insurance. She also has several CDs and reserves for emergencies and rainy days. but she really intends to give them to her grandchildren and a niece for college. In fact, she wants to give the $50,000 CD before she dies, partly because she's sick of the pitiful CD returns and the taxes she pays in the 1099 on that income. But Aunt Sally worries about giving $50,000 to anyone. She especially worries what $50,000 might do to her 18-year-old niece. She learns at her average health that she can buy a life insurance policy that supersizes that $50,000 to $228,000 instantly. That's over 4 times the original gift. Add zeros to the $50,000 as appropriate, and $500,000 becomes $2.8 million. The policy settlement options allows for $11.4 thousand payment to be made to her niece for 20 years. So it's far more difficult to squander than a lump sum. 5 years to life payments are also available. Look seriously again at the benefits of single premium equity index life insurance. Interest rates in the policy are above CD and money market rates. Comparable to corporate bonds. The money grows tax deferred in the policy, so there's no taxable event, no 1099. It is completely accessible to Aunt Sally for emergency needs. It is extremely safe in the right strong insurance company. And fifth, it has a supersized leverage of the life insurance contract. There are terminal illness and critical illness riders automatically in this policy that make part of the death benefit available under certain health considerations and circumstances. So if she gets diagnosed with a terminal illness or a critical illness, she can use part of that money. So what's the bottom line you can take away? No other tool supersizes stagnant assets for your family and charities like single premium life insurance. Your family's wealth potential becomes staggering. Let me help you work out the details of this for your own family. The potential is tremendous. You can even finance the premium if you qualify. My name is David Rockett. I am the charitable steward. Call me if I can help. I went ahead and just kept talking.
I forgot to put the 5-second one when I turned it on over here. All right.